trap straight to a penthouse, Miami Beach. Hey, yo. Talk crazy on tweets. They don't want it cause I come to defeat. They don't want it. I peek, these niggas all sweet. Bamboo sticks all in the Jeep. It's a new weirdo every week. Get the whip, put it up for my seeds. No care for the IG, just no care. Anything for clout. They do anything for clout. Do anything for clout.
Okay, T Squad, so this is the video I have been getting you all prepared to watch. If you have not watched my video where I read the full transcript on the lawsuit that Cassie Ventura filed against Diddy, check that video out first because you need that context of exactly what she was suing for to have a really good understanding of the things that you'll hear in this video. So over the years, we have had a lot of different celebrities and things tell stories about Diddy and his relationships with Cassie or Kim Porter and his, at that time, alleged abuse, schmex trafficking, and his, anger and drug use and all of these different things. And, we paid attention to it, but nobody really dug deep into it until this Cassie situation came to life last week. Well, so much footage has been popping up ever since then, and I wanted to show you guys that pretty much everything Cassie alleged in her lawsuit has already been said by so many others. And this is not a situation where these celebrities or whomever said this stuff yesterday or, last week. No, these are videos that I'm about to show you from either 6 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, where a lot has been revealed. Now, because I've gathered so much information, I'm going to break this down into multiple videos. So today we're going to be looking at psychic medium by the name of Sloan Bella. Now, since this Cassie situation broke, you might have seen this clip going around Instagram of this white woman who is a medium basically saying that, she gave a date when she knew all of this stuff was going to happen with Diddy. Now, she recorded this video in July of 2023. July of 2023 this year, and she literally in the video where she is saying that she is being communicated with via Kim on the other side, she knew literally to the day when all of this was going to break. And based off this conversation that she's saying that she's having with Kim, via communication spirit wise, she was given so much information on how Kim was unalived, the things that she saw that led her to writing this book, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that Cassie actually referred to in the lawsuit. Kim herself went through those same things. And so when you hear this woman speaking in such detail about everything that Cassie literally talked about in her lawsuit, you're going to have goosebumps because, like I said, this was recorded in July of this year. This is not something that just happened yesterday. She recorded this months ago and literally told us what it was going to happen, when it was going to happen, and why all of these things have happened. So take a look to what Sloan Bella had to say. Well, listen to what Sloan Bella had to say. Do not skip anything. When I tell you so much is revealed, she did 2 parts. The first initial part, the first day where she got, communication with Kim, and then Kim downloaded her with more information, and she came back the following day with even more information on her relationship with Diddy and all of those things. Take a listen, you guys. It's a lot of information, but you're going to be blown away when you hear all of it. Let's get into it.
And if you treat her like shit, the Cancer moon pops in, and this is her downfall. along with that Pisces rising, is the Cancer moon can never move forward until it deals with what was behind it. So if you were running a race down the street, a marathon, we would be watching an Aries person running with their eyes focused way, way ahead, a Sagittarius person running off in 25 different directions, a Cancer moon person looking behind them. Anybody with Cancer is constantly repeating what came before what they're dealing with now in order to release the energy of this. And she was doing just that. Now I'm talking about the late Kimberly Porter, who had several children, 3 I believe, with a man named P with Diddy on the back, and had another child, an older boy prior to that. Immediately I pick up on the connection to the older boy. So there was something about that child that she acknowledged was different because there was an understanding of who she was from him. So I feel like it might be that he knew her more or for longer, and therefore she feels as though he really understands who she is. Now, she passed away in Los Angeles, Toluca Lake actually, in 2018 from pneumonia. Sound familiar? Yeah, from pneumonia. So I started to feel the energy around that, and immediately my eyes were drawn down towards the ground. Immediately. This is just something that was so overwhelming to her and so uncalled for and so unexpected. And my mind went straight to the kitchen counter in the house that she was in. I don't know if she owned this house or was renting it. I get a feeling like it was kind of, I almost want to say kind of transitory for her. She wasn't there a lot. But I'm looking at this silver tin in the kitchen, and it almost looks like a mint tin, but it's a bit thicker. I'm looking at the silver tin, and I'm looking at it, and it's open, and she's putting something in her mouth, and she's looking at her hands. So I don't know if this was like a mint that left color on your hands, or if this was like some kind of chocolate in a tin can. I can't see any writing on the side, but I do see wrapping, like shrink wrapping, and she's showing me a shrink wrapping machine. So like how you make, I guess, gifts for gift sales or whatever people do. She's showing me this machine because I'm asking her, how did they get to the tin? So what she's showing me is that, and what I'm being shown, I don't believe by her, because I'm pretty sure she doesn't understand what this is, because I don't get what this is, and I feel like she doesn't know what this is. She's addressing the tin can as if that's the culprit of why she died. But what I'm being shown is 3 months prior to her passing, I'm getting a huge amount of head congestion with her, allergies, sniffles, pet allergies, nasal issues, and she has nasal spray. When I see the nasal spray on the week before she died, I see it like a magnet. So a magnet with a red end and the magnet part, the gray at the end. And you know, if you do pencil shavings with a magnet and you hold it up, the pencil shavings stick to it like that. She inhaled this up her nose, pencil shavings. And I don't know what is in pencil shavings exactly. I don't even know what it is anymore. But whatever those little particles of toxic metal are what was in the nose spray. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Can I prove it? No. But I'm feeling this. This is the energy I'm feeling. So some sort of metals or toxic metal in the nasal spray. And I'm feeling that this was unknown to her. So I get up, I use the nasal spray, I walk around, I don't feel good. There's a weird taste in my mouth. I'm not feeling well. I do have a cold. How did I get the cold? I don't know. Probably from the kids in the neighborhood touching some, who knows, right? It's all before the 2020 lockdown stuff. So who knows where she got it. But then I'm feeling the nose spray. And I'm getting like a blinding pain behind my eye here on the day that she passed. Blinding pain. So I think she may have had some sort of headache prior to passing out. And I also feel like she got up just before she passed away. And she passed away so suddenly. Thud, and I'm out. Okay, so she fell down and passed out of her body. Different than if somebody's in bed and they fall asleep. and they fall asleep and they just step out of their body that way. This was, she hit the ground and was out of her body. And I feel like she went to check on her nose. I see her looking at her nose. So I do feel she got up to check on the condition of her nose. I don't know if it was itchy. I don't know what. I have pain in the left side of my head. So I feel she passed really rather suddenly. And then I'm going back to the tin can and I'm going to the house that she's in. And this is why I think it's a bit of a transitory house, meaning I'm not sure how often she's there. But what I am seeing is that I can watch everything about her in this house. Now, most of us have cameras in our house. That's not a like particularly psychic thing to say. I myself have a bunch of cameras in my house and around my house. However, there is somebody else that has cameras in her house that she is unaware of. She is unaware, and they were put in her house while she stepped to the side and wasn't in her house. So the cameras were put there without her being able to view it on her own cameras when she wasn't home. And it was done so in such a way that it looked like somebody was making repairs. Okay, so nobody in the neighborhood's like, hey, who's that guy hanging off the second story window? Not like that. This was done all behind the scenes, all low grade. And there's, okay, so, sorry, her energy makes me laugh because she's so Miss Trouble. Now her hands are down here on her hips. Anyway, usually like this, giving me like the look, you know, like, what are you saying? And I'm thinking because this is unknown to her or she's unsure of what happened. Because there are other people, this is what I'm understanding. There are other people in her personal friend circle, not just who people think orchestrated this, the baby's daddy, but other people that betrayed her. So I can't trust anybody. I can't trust anybody. She can see, but when she was alive, she couldn't trust anybody because somebody betrayed her with the cameras in her house. And that tin can has something to do with it. I cannot see what it holds. You know what I think it holds? This is a weird thing to say. I think it's an old school tin can. I'm seeing something orange on the cover. So I think it's like old school cough medicine or cough throat drops. Like old school. Like powdered something in them. Powder on them. It looks almost like a candy your grandmother would have. I should say my grandmother would have had. Looks like a candy, but it's for your throat. Old school in the tin. And there's something to do with that because she's looking at her hands. It took me a while to get there, but she's looking at her hands. And I don't know if it's because she picked up something. They can do whatever they want. Now, part of this is blocked from her. And there are other people with her on the other side that this has happened to as well. People she doesn't know, but that are in that same circle of people, as in probably in entertainment as opposed to like her personal friend circle. Somebody betrayed her. Somebody betrayed her. Somebody betrayed her. Okay, hold on. She has, I'm trying to hear this correctly. She has 3 different manuscripts, okay? Because it was reported she was writing a tell-all book about her partner, baby daddy. P. Diddy. Did I say that right? P. Diddy. P. Diddy. I'm sorry, I'm just fucking saying it. I don't know why. Anyway, she had 3 manuscripts and she gave them to 3 separate people. Somebody you wouldn't even suspect. Somebody outside of her friend group, somebody entirely different. She had a very close-knit circle of friends and a particular type of friends. So she hung around particular people. She was very specific in her choice of people that she allowed in her circle. Okay, very, very, very controlled about that. However, somebody from outside that circle has one of, quote, the books or manuscripts or written documentation. So they don't have it all. And she's kind of laughing because she suspected that this would happen, but it blew her mind when it happened. When she passed away at 47, her mind blown, okay? She always thought it, but never really thought it. And that's the Neptune in her chart. I can verbalize this to you that someone is going to do this to me or this is going to happen to me, but it doesn't really register inside of me that this is really going to happen to me. That's how I feel she felt. Like holy crap, like blown, mind blown. Almost like an accident. When you get into an accident, you pop out of your body. That's shocking enough. This is even more shocking for her because it's like actually happened. The other thing that now I'm developing an eye twitch again. Every time I try to tell a story, my eye starts to go like this. So I have to assume something happened with the left side of her face and with her eye and what's behind her eye, because my eye keeps doing it when I'm talking about her. And all day yesterday, I tried to film this and then my eye kept twitching and it's still twitching. So I feel with her that there was something like that. I also know that one of her best girlfriends, she has several, maybe 3. One of her best girlfriends, she worries because that best girlfriend tells her husband everything. Like, so, you know those women that are married to men and they go home and they're like, yeah, so-and-so did this. And you're thinking, I didn't tell you for you to go home and tell that guy you're married to all the shit I just told you. Like, this is supposed to be our thing, right? So this girl is very much, I'm going to say, codependent on her male partner, husband. It's actually he is actually a husband, for her approval or attention, even though she acts the opposite. And Kim is afraid that that information will get out kind of sideways. Not that her husband is a threat, but he is still friends with her former baby daddy, P. Diddy. He's still friends. The husband is still friends with him. So Kim is afraid that this man will speak what his wife spoke to him. So she's trying to encourage her not to do that. Now, here's another aspect of this. This is so like crazy. I am being shown November of 2023. So her death date was November 15th of 2018, but I'm being shown November of 2023. I don't think we're done with this. I feel she's shaking her head yes. Before she stare at me, then she wait, and now she's shaking her head yes. I am being shown that things are being prepared. She is showing me a trumpet. People are standing straight up. And there are people going to speak, not just about what happened to her, about other things. Something is unraveling. For some reason, she's showing me like, was one of her kids, I wonder, in band? Because she's showing me like trumpet marching band type music, which is weird because I don't think that that's her favorite. But I'm being shown that. Somebody is leading the march, leading the way. There, that's what it is. Somebody is leading the march, leading the way to uncover this information, and I'm getting 5 months. So I feel, sorry, I keep laughing because she's like, out with it. Toxic metal exposure. Toxic metal exposure through some kind of metallic something, metal, that's like a pencil shaving. So think of how tiny that is. And it went in through the nasal cavity, through a sniffer thing for colds or for allergies, whatever, nose spray. And it was tampered with. So many things were tampered with. Oh my God, her phone was hijacked. She had a second phone, by the way, and nobody got that phone. That phone is hidden. I don't think anybody knows where that phone is because she didn't tell anybody before she passed, but she had a second phone. So conversations about what's going down and coming out were done on a, quote, burner phone. Sounds like a drug deal, but it wasn't. A burner phone. So she has no idea. They've not found this phone because this phone, they don't know where she hid it. And she didn't hide it in her car, in her stuff or anything like that. She went to get it. It's somewhere where she went to get it. You know what I think? I think she's like, no, don't say it, but I'm going to say it. I feel like she has either a post office box, a bank security box, something storage box that nobody knows about. And it'll be found, but I feel like she was hiding things there. I don't know why nobody knows about it because, I mean, it's great if you're hiding stuff until you drop dead and then what do you do? But I feel like she has this storage and this paperwork in storage. Her energy is interesting. Her oldest son, there's so much heartfelt thanks for him because there's a feeling of like the two of them together learned about what parenting and growing up was like. And she's so grateful for that relationship. He can see her. She shows me her daughters, and there's another son. The other son is kind of off to the side, like he's in his own orbit. I'm sure he does fine with his family and has many friends, but there's a disconnect between him and the girls and him and the older boy. I'm not saying they're not friends. I'm just saying energetically. That's all I'm saying is energetically. the two girls, I feel what she's showing me is, okay, she's giving me this reference. So when you edit a movie or you edit music or a movie and you take out a chunk, a clip, then if I watch the clip, I don't know what happened before and I don't know what happened after. I'm given the emotion of the clip that I'm shown. So that emotion comes into that. She's saying a lot. And when I say saying, the images I'm getting in my head, the impression I'm feeling is that her daughters have only been shown a snippet of life and they're blocked from seeing what happened before. They're blocked from seeing what happened before and what happened after. So she's kind of unsure about how they view her because they only have this little vignette of experience in front of them. And it's not correct. Her older boy knows. Her older boy knows, okay? So the older son knows. It resonates with him. He understands. The girls have been blocked. They have been deliberately, energetically capped is the word that she's using. And she's using it to show me, and this is what she's showing me. So here we go. She's using it to show me that when you have energy, and our energy extends out way, way past our physical, okay? And she used the word controllers, when people who want to control you or dominate you have an understanding of outside of the physical world, they can cap your energy so you can't even access the other clips to the movie. That's what she's saying happened to her daughters. It happened to her too. She's talking about the binding that happened when she crossed out of her body that pulled her in a direction she didn't want to go. There was a lot of confusion. What she'd been told about passing away is not what happened to her. She is still here because it is still unsettled. She's not like in a bad place at all. She's with God, not in a bad place, but she's still very, very dimensionally close to this dimension because it hasn't been settled. And because it hasn't been settled, she's not clear. It hurt. In other words, she was taken away from her life early, not through natural circumstances, and therefore that needs to be corrected, and it's in the swing of being corrected. She's also talking about she agreed to do things with him, the baby daddy, and all of that around her that weren't really her. And on a karmic level, when she died, she felt that this was part of what was responsible. Horrified, though, that she stepped out of her body. Horrified. Like, oh my God, horrified. She's kind of saying that she did a lot of things. And in the months, probably, truthfully, 6 months prior to her passing, she was starting to see what he was for real and no more denying it. She's not a back down kind of person. She's a scrappy pappy. That's what this is about, standing over there. Sorry, it's making me laugh. I feel like I'm being stared at like by one of my kids when they were teenagers, just looking at me, shaking their head like, shut up. But she was scrappy pappy. She thought that it would change, and she wasn't privy to everything, but a whole hell of a lot she saw. So everything she's writing about, like, she's kind of saying, I saw it. Like, I lived it. I saw it. It happened. This is what happened. So she doesn't really understand why that can't come out if that's what you're doing and what's your issue with it, which is really kind of interesting. And it has something to do with containing the energy of this person. But then she's like, he literally went dark, black eyes, dark, completely shut down and dark. So she didn't even know who she was dealing with. I have terminology for it, but she doesn't use that terminology. Deceitful, duplicitous, two-faced is word she uses, liar, two-faced. She can see, by the way, she can see everything that he's done after her passing. She can hear him and she can see him. So if you think that you've sent her away or that you're keeping her bound, because she's basically saying that something is being done by this person whom she had children with, 3 of them. she is saying that he does things in order to keep her energy at bay because she's around him. I've got to tell you something. Okay, this is pretty funny. I think it's funny, ironic. She goes like in my face. She goes, boo, like that. Okay, like a cartoon. And the reason she's doing this is, and now my eyes twitching again. Okay, the reason look, I can't stop it from twitching. Oh my God. Every time I talk about her, my eye twitches. It gets out of control. And you know what? She may have had a seizure and hit the ground. That's maybe what she's trying to show me. But she acts like she's trying to scare her ex. She is around him energetically quite a bit. She watches him. She sees what he's saying. She knows what he's doing. It's very, very transparent to her, and you can't fool her. And you are going to stand so noted, accountable within the next 5 months. He's trying desperately to backpedal out of this. But whoever that man is, and it's a white man that has the tape or the information or however that is, one of the manuscripts with personal, private, written, handwritten documentation about what was said to her 3 months before she passed, what she witnessed, and the final straw that she couldn't take anymore. And it's not a case of domestic violence. It goes far beyond that and that. So it is domestic violence, but it's far, far beyond that. So she goes in a completely different scope. 5 months. The time is being marked. 5 months. So this is June, July, August, September, October, November. I'm going for November 15th. Or right around there. It's coming out. It will not be, you cannot keep this. She's literally, you cannot stop the truth. And she has like, this is it. To the people that she knew before and her friends and people that she loves dearly, and she does love them dearly, and her children. There's nothing you can do that can't be forgiven. There's nothing you can do that can't be forgiven. But in speaking about, and her ex had a posse. He has a posse of people. He has like a thug group of people around him, a huge thug group, and the thug group are the ones that bugged her house or put cameras in her house or whatever, surveilled her house, the thug group. So he has friends that will pretty much do anything. And she's kind of showing me, now I'm going down that train of thought and I'm getting an image right now of a mob wife, M-O-B, mob wife. That's how she just spelt it in my head. She's very, very smart, intellectual. Like she wants me to know she's smart. The mob wife has long bleached blonde hair, and she's kind of explaining, this is, I believe, her position, but she's explaining to me that early on in the marriage, this mob wife married a man she loved, or was with a man and had kids with a man she loved, and did her wife things, did her hair, did her nails, raised her kids, had her friends, Pilates, yoga, whatever. And then one day came to know that the husband that she married because she loved and who she avoided looking into every single aspect of what he did business-wise, when she found out she could no longer have breakfast with this man, talk to this man on an equal level, she had to step back from it because it was so offensive to her heart. That's what happened to her. So her ex crossed the line in such a way that it offended her sense of moral code, and she could no longer stay. He also used to hit her and choke her, so that we're clear on that. She shows me being choked, being shaken and choked like that. And he was always tricking her. He was always coming in nice and then flipping a switch, flipping like that. Always coming in nice and then flippo like that. And actually, very scared human being. If he's human, I'm adding that. She didn't add that. Very scared person with no real faith, and his bravado is melting down. So it's ending now. And then she's saying something. I'm sorry, she's speaking in codes, but she's singing that song by Stevie Wonder, Signed, Sealed, and Delivered. Like, I don't know if that was a song that they spoke about or code, or if she just liked that song, but signed, sealed, and delivered within 5 months is what I'm hearing. So her friends, family, and people that loved her and fan base will have some answers. Completely toxic metal shock toxic metal shock through the nasal cavity. That's what I'm seeing. That's all I'm seeing. So that is my celebrity channeled energy reading on Miss Kim Porter, who passed away due to alleged pneumonia. Now I'm saying alleged to the things that are natural causes. Alleged pneumonia. And she's not saying she didn't have pneumonia, but she really just was sick. Like sick and not feeling well, but she kept using the nasal spray. So I don't know where that spray is, and I don't know who put that there. I don't know who put it there. But there's a lot in her body that's metal toxicity or metal toxins. I don't know if she was buried or cremated, but they should actually check her hair. They log this in the coroner's office. They usually have like records of certain things. They should actually log. They should log that. They should check that. It's logged. They should check it. I'm getting confused.
Yeah, T-Squad, that was part 1. Wasn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, you guys? OMG. Like, I was gobsmacked. She had the information down to a day. Cassie literally filed, and it came open to the public, this lawsuit, on November 16th. This medium predicted November 15th, but she said that it was an awakening coming, a reckoning coming, that it wasn't going to be anything to do with Kim, but something else. Like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And if you remember when Kim passed away initially, they were saying that it was a homicide, but then they changed it to saying that it was pneumonia. Now, all of this, pay attention to it, because in another video from none other than Jaguar Wright, the R&B singer, she was telling us all about this years ago, but everybody just chalked it up to her being crazy and being a hater and a clout chaser and on drugs and this, that, and the third. But let's get into part 2 of what Sloan Bella had to say, because she got even more information from Kim the following day. So take a listen.
Here is the information I got this morning. So when I step out and I meditate, the eye twitch is back. And every time I talk about her, I have an eye twitch. It's making me crazy. I did not have it all morning. I did not have it last night. So every time I meditate and focus on someone, because I felt like there was something I was missing in the last video, I will literally exert myself running, and I will get information downloads while I'm running. Like, my mind will go to what I should be focused on. And I'm going to say this 100%. Well, not 100%. I'm going to say this, what I felt. I felt it in me so strongly. A few years before Kim passed, so probably 2016-ish time frame, thereabouts, could have been 2017, but a long enough time where it was more than 12 months, might not have been quite 2 years. She was speaking to authorities. Now, who the authorities are, I don't think it's like local cops. I think it's maybe more like people who investigate things. She was speaking to them about something that she became aware of. And she had never been aware of this before. She'd been aware of a lot of things. Don't kid yourself. She was not sheltered, and she was not naive to whom she had children with. But this was different. This was like a whole notch up of like, oh my God. She was communicating with authorities. I heard that. Authorities were aware of something, that information that she had, and were asking her to gather more, and I'll use the word intel, but more information about a particular instance. Now, the instance, what I was shown is the instance went back to a party, which was not thrown by her husband. I mean, not husband, baby daddy, was not thrown by him. It was a party that she attended, and it was a very formal gathering with very high backseat chairs, kind of like adorned, maybe old school backseat chairs, like just really high. So if I'm sitting in a chair and the back goes to my shoulders, I'm talking where these were like high, almost covered backseat chairs. and a very, very long table. A very dark room with like crimson coloring inside this room. It's a formal dining dinner of some kind, and people are talking all across, and there's different kinds of people. These aren't just music people. These are all kinds of people. These are different people, okay, from all walks of life is what I'm saying. At this dinner, there was some brokering deals done, okay, because I feel like she was invited and observant, but not participant, okay? So she was not participating in this, but she observed what was going on. And I feel like it upset her what she heard. There were people who shouldn't have been at this dinner, as in people you wouldn't expect to mingle with other people. Now, granted, you can go out, you know, to Home Depot and run into people, right? You can go to Trader Joe's and run into people. You can run into people at the DMV, because we all got to go to the DMV, unfortunately. But this was different. And the information that she gathered was upsetting to her. So when they say, and I want you to hear me with this, because I'm going to try to explain this without getting myself in trouble. When they say that her former baby daddy and people did not want her to write a tell-all book about what she witnessed, and they are dumbing it down to the fact that they think that P. Diddy is on some kind of spree for removing people who speak about this because he's gay, that is not the issue. I want you to hear me. That's one thing, and he may have his own shame about that, and it may be culturally not right for him, whatever. Get in line in society. That is not what this is. That's not what it is. So I'm going to jump into something separate here to explain what this is. All right, so let's look at it this way. You, me, all of us, we come into a family heritage, right? Some of us are born Christian, some are born Catholic, some are born Jewish, some are Scientologists, some are atheists, some are agnostic, some are whatever religion is out there, Muslim. Insert name of religion, okay? Insert name of new age, whatever, however you, spiritual, however you want to word this. So we come into the context of understanding about our position in this world through the family unit that teaches us. And we're kind of at the mercy of that growing up, right? Like we have parents, and if they drag you to midnight mass, you're getting dragged to midnight mass. If they're agnostic, you're not going anywhere. If they're Jewish, you're observing those holidays. If they're Orthodox, that's a whole notch up. So what if, and this is an if, this is not an if, this is a what was happening. If you're born into a history and lineage that follows a religion that believes through the art of sexual breaking down and making the person vulnerable, removing the ego and fragmenting the self. So if you're born into, quote, a religion that does that, okay? Which there are religions that do that. Think of like David Koresh. Think of Mormons. Don't yell at me, Mormon people. I'm not talking about your church. You know, you guys are all over saying that. But you understand where they break down. So what is a way to break down a person? A way to break down a person is to take away their internal security. To take away their internal security is to control them, because once they've lost their sense of self, they are easily manipulated into being what you need them to be. Now take that in terms of children. When we abuse children, okay, in this world, that is what we are doing. They are harboring just an insane amount of insecurity and lack of knowing of strength and self and knowing about source connection, because it's been ripped away from them. So what if, instead of saying he's gay, we say that he partakes in ritualistic sodomy passages of rite in order to control the soul body of the physical body of the person? Yes, I know what I just said sounds weird, but what if we are to look at it that way? Because that is what I'm actually believing is going on. I don't believe that a lot of what we think is, quote, gay behavior. I mean, technically it's what we label gay behavior, the action. You know, if you're with the person of the same sex and you do that, then that is labeled that. Like heterosexual sex is labeled a man and a woman do this, right? So when it's same sex And when it comes to men in power, how did they get into such power? I want you guys just to consider this, because they're no different than you. No one has any secret magical talents out there that makes them so much better than you. Seriously, some people may be able to sing better, but it's not him, okay? Some people may be able to do things like they may be an artist, they may be a better parent, they may be mechanical, they may have attributes and abilities in athletics and stuff like that. But what makes them so freaking fucking special on this planet that they got to amass $900 million? What is that about? So that is about, let's just look at it this way. They're not more special than you. There's something else going on. That's what she was trying to say. It's not a book about him being gay. He may have had gay sex. Do we expect any of these people haven't? I mean, really, we're talking about people in the entertainment industry. Don't they do everything that, you know, other people don't want to do? I mean, or maybe other people want to do but can't because they'll get fired from their job. In Hollywood, you can do it, right? In the entertainment industry, you can do it. But ask yourself why there's such a predominance of, quote, gay behavior. Because it's not gay behavior. That's not what we're talking about. There are gay people, but what we're talking about here is ritualistic sexual deviancy used to harness energy of a human being. We are being harnessed, not me, not you, but the people that he's dealing with. And she became privy to this. She witnessed this. Now, if you follow a religion that believes you need the brightest, strongest, most pure energy, most biggest, brightest diamond, like Liz Taylor running around with big, gaudy ass diamonds, acting like that was something, okay? So let's look at it this way. If you want energy that's as big as a diamond like that and as authentic, where do you get it from? You get it from children. And what if you are using those ritualistic behaviors at children? What if you're doing that with children? What if you are putting spores into children? Okay, what do I mean by spores? Energetic hooks. What if you are putting energetic hooks through the act of ritualized sex? Not sex, like not like, oh my God, I'm hot, I want to fuck that person. Not that kind of sex. Ritualized, thought out, planned specifically to rip the person down and hide behind their energy. That is what we are talking about. We are talking about the ritualizing, sexualized aggression directed at young children, mainly male, in order to harness their energy. So it's a hard concept to understand. I don't know that I understand it fully, but if I can use your energy. So we all have that friend that can get us into clubs and restaurants because they're dialed up and everybody knows them and they can get us discounts and all of that stuff. So we love to hang around that friend because we're like, I can get all my makeup, I can get my manicures, I can get into the club, I can get that purse, I can get it before other people. Who doesn't like that? We all like that. But what if we're talking about a religion that hides behind the energy of the most innocent on this planet who are lit up energetically because it hasn't been broken by this planet? And what if they are using this ritualized sodomy sex in order to separate the human body from the soul body so that they can attach it on the astral, harness that energy, utilize it here, and act like they're all fucking special here, doing bullshit and then making you feel like shit? I'm just asking. What if that is what is going on? Because that is what's going on. I'm using it as a question, but I want you to kind of explore that because it sounds crazy when I'm saying it. That is what she hooked into. That is what she found out. The ritualized sexual abuse of minors in order to tap into energy portals within the soul body or spirit body and then hook into that energy. Now, when that happens, the person, and we'll just use somebody like Justin Bieber, the person who's had that happen He's given what he wants, which is over here. We know Bieber was famous as a teenager and all of that. How do you think he got that way? Because they harnessed his energy and presented him while him, the self, is broken. He is broken and a shell of himself because he has lost his sense of self. They stole that. That is what they wear. So it's like they're wearing his clothes, but look at it in terms of energy. This is what Kim found out. She found out exactly what was happening. She'd been blocked from that. She'd seen a lot. She'd seen some kinky shit. She'd seen some weird shit. She was asked to participate in things that these narcissistic, psychopathic type people ask their partners to participate in, okay? Yes, I said the word that I wasn't going to say yesterday, but that's exactly, that's what happened. She came across the ritualizing sexual abuse, and that's where she drew the line. That is not okay. Now, as much as they say, let me word it this way too. We hear a lot of stuff online about universal law and they have to let us know. No, they don't. Don't buy into that shit. No one has to let anybody know anything. Do you think the criminal calls you up and goes, hey bitch, I'm going to rob your house later tonight? I don't think so. I think that they rob your house through opportunity. They have taught us to think incorrectly about what's going on. Most of us don't believe there's anything else outside of our physical body. Kim knew there was. She knew that her baby daddy was strong, powerful, but when she found out how he got that power for real, it scared her. She is protected. She is fine. Like she's not stuck anywhere where there's a problem with her. She saw. So I actually feel that the passing of Kim Porter opened up the knowledge of what this man and there are others, big, huge dinner party, and very, very ornate and very, very, it reminds me of a legal boardroom table with all, like, you know, you walk into a expensive law office and there's like huge ass table and you're like, well, it's only me and him and then you, right? You're like, why am I here? It was this huge table like this, very ornately decorated, crimson coloring. The chairs are huge and high behind you. And when she saw what she saw, I feel like, okay, I'm going to say this. I feel like she slipped through a dimension. I'm talking when she's alive. I feel like that's why she was giving information to the, quote, authorities. Forget the book. It's not just about the book. It's about that, what I'm talking about. And I feel like the veil was let down in front of her and she actually walked through like a dimension and what she saw flipped her out because she became very frightened. I got that very, very strong, very mistrusting. She feels comfortable now. She's been on the other side long enough where she knows she's protected, and there are many. This is ritualized sexual abuse used in order to invoke power and energy and hook, and I use the word spores, that's like just the word I use. Just think of a dandelion and those spores blowing everywhere. They do that inside your body through behind. As I was saying before the video got cut off, they do that from behind you in the physical sense because it's an easy pathway to the chakra system, and through the crown chakra, they can harness your energy. That's why, do you see this? This is happening now. Do you see it? The camera cut off and now it's going back and forth. Again, here we go. They can harness your energy. When they harness your energy, they own your energy. Think of a horse and wagon. If the horse has the bit in the mouth, you have the reins. Do you see that? Do you see that's happening? Good about themselves. They're very moldable and manipulated. But what it actually is it's tearing away of the soul body, which harnesses 99% of our energy, because the physical is just what we're here to walk around in. It's like the car. The person driving the car either has the skill or doesn't. So they are breaking the physical from the soul body and tethering the line that connects the two. People with remarkable gifts. But those people have taken that from someone else because it's It's an energetic bending of sorts. It's a bending of energy, and the bending of that energy is what we're talking about. Now, in our day-to-day life terms, she witnessed and heard something that was going on. Now, this is where I think I brought up Ohio. Columbus, Ohio, again, I apologize. It was Columbus, Georgia. But I think I brought up Ohio because I think she was trying to tell me it was through the middle of the country. So we know what we're talking about here. We know about backroom deals. We know about this. So think of where Ohio is logistically located and think about it going through the middle of the country, and think about trains going through the middle of the country with product on the trains. You know what I'm saying? So I feel she got an eyeful just before she died of information, and it would be the 2 years before she died, but specifically 3 months before she died, of information. And I don't think that he would be the only one that would want her to shut up. And how they're going to sell it, package it, and market it to the public is he was gay and he didn't want it to get out. Come on now. Come on now. Do you really think that's it? I'm asking you guys to think. That's not what this is about. I mean, he can be all of that. Yeah, he can be whatever he is. But that's not what this is about. This is different. And she saw it. And she saw how they got to where they are doing what they do. That's what she saw. And then she realized, and I'm going to tell you something. I feel like Kim spent 2 lifetimes having this shit happen to her. And I think she came back in with the same group of people to try to correct that for herself, and she got taken out again. And I'm being serious when I say that on an energy level. I feel like she literally had this happen most recent past life, and then again, and I'm getting a confirmation on that. I'm getting a head shake, yes. I feel like this happened 2 times in a row. There will be what we call justice for what happened to her, but it's in a different way. It's going to come across sideways from a very unexpected source. It's nobody in her family. It's none of her friends. It's somebody sideways that's finally going to step up and tell the truth. So this is my second video on Kim Porter and her baby daddy and the energy around this particular situation. And I want you to think about it for a second. The harnessing of energy that isn't in the physical. So where is it and how do we access it? That's what the actual issue is. It's not like this man is gay and so we're just going to take everybody out because we don't want anyone to know he's gay. That's ridiculous. That's not what's going on.
Are y'all as gagged as I am, was, is, child? This woman literally told us, predicted, whatever you want to call it, prophesied, I don't know, whatever, 6 months ago that all of this was going to happen and that it was going to come from somebody else, not out of Kim's camp, not somebody she was close with or anything like that. That person is Cassie. And then that Kim herself was being physically assaulted by him, choked, hit, all of these things, and that she witnessed a bunch of kinky, weirdo sexual stuff, but that it's way deeper than that. Y'all. Baby. Oh, and more is going to come from this. This is not over in the least when it comes to Puff Daddy, honey. It's not a coincidence that this year, the guy that allegedly, unalived Tupac said that he was hired by Diddy to do so. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is another 2 big explosive cases involving him this year alone. And this is just the first video on my Exposing Diddy series. Stay tuned for part 2, you guys. It's even more juicier, more explosive. And once again, these interviews and things that these other people are saying about Diddy were all done years ago. And it ties into exactly what Cassie accused him of. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all share this tea with everybody you know. Make sure you have them listen to my breakdown of Cassie's lawsuit, because you have to listen to that to understand everything else that everybody is saying. Thank you guys for listening to this video. This is an hour-long video. Thank you for sticking around and, you know, joining your girl on all of this, because it needs to be exposed and out there. So thank you for watching part 1 of my Exposing Diddy series. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I'll be back with part 2 very, very soon. So be on the lookout. I love you guys. Bye.